Hey everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Biz Talk for TikTok. It's host Kyle Kaplanis in the studio today. I have the TikTok teacher, Helen Polise of Mothership Productions, and she has an extensive experience directing, producing TV commercials and a mini documentary style content for clients such as Sensodyne, Conair, Hasbro, Runaway Dreams, the Westchester Bank, and many more. She turned her storytelling talents to TikTok to create fun content during quarantine and quickly went viral. She recently decided to turn to the leaning into teaching with a sudden explosion on TikTok with over 171,000 followers. She has branded herself as the TikTok teacher, and she does tutorial style content over there, and her fans are having a fun learning experience with her. So Helen, welcome so much to the Biz Talk show.
Thank you for having me. This is fun. I get to talk about my favorite thing.
Right? That's what I love about this is every guest that I have come on, they're always like, yay, like this is my favorite podcast if they've ever been on one because they get to talk about something they're so passionate about and it's just changed their lives. So that's what I'm really pumped to have you in as well. And I mean, you know, people that are watching this, they may be surprised because that big misconception out there of TikTok is thinking that my guest sitting in front of me might be a teen lip syncing to some weird song.
Nope.
For one, TikTok has changed a ton, even since, I mean, like I said, I've been on it since August 2018, but I've watched the shift change a ton. So, you know, there's lots of things out there, and I'm glad that we're breaking those misconceptions. And I'm really grateful to have you on the show today.
Oh, thank you for having me. I am having way too much fun with it, and I do hope that I'm giving people sort of confidence to just put yourself out there, even no matter what age you are. It's really a fun place. It's a fun platform, and I'm having a great time with it.
Absolutely. So, you know, I wanted to ask because you have a production background and all those things, but, you know, with that, do you believe that it's actually helped you with your TikTok?
I think from the get-go, I had an edge because I have the production background. I understand editing. I've sat in edit rooms, you know, for most of my career. Right. And so I think that does help a lot because to edit is not just learning how to push buttons. It's understanding how things should go together to tell a story. So I think that's the part that I have an advantage. And so what started to happen to me is people would come to me like, oh, teach me how to do that. Teach me how to do that. I wasn't the TikTok teacher from the beginning. I started this in COVID just for fun. I went viral with several different types of content. It was, you know, it was a baking video. It was a beach dancing video. It was tours of New York City. So the storytelling stuff in different formats has, you know, boosted me to viral and created a following, but I didn't have a niche really up until a month ago, not even. So that's funny.
See, okay.
I was no niche TikTok up until a month ago.
Yeah, but I'm kind of glad you brought that up because so many people are focused on that in the beginning. They're like, oh no, what's my niche? So they don't come on because they have no idea. But the whole point of it, and I feel like it's so fun, is that you get to just be yourself and then things kind of fall into place. And it might be surprising, like, who knew? Like if somebody said, Helen, you're going to join TikTok and you're going to be the teacher of TikTok, and you're like, what?
No way.
That would have
no way I would have believed that.
Right? It wasn't something you even like. Yes, you have the production background, but you know, you didn't think that you would understand the app like this and be able to teach it. So that's so cool. But it is true. People that are listening right now, if you haven't started your TikTok yet, you get to just start, just share your experiences. And like you said, you went viral on several times on just storytelling about your experiences, right? Like, what did you say you shared? Like some
So I
travel
did,
stories or?
yeah, there was like some, I live in New York City. So there was a lot of New York City things that would happen to me and I would make them into little story videos.
Yeah.
That was one. I spend time at the beach and I was trying to get my son to dance on the beach. That went viral. I don't know. A lot of people might recognize me from spaghetti squash cutting. I did one thing in my kitchen where I cut a spaghetti squash to a song and I showed how to cook a spaghetti squash. So there were different things that happened to me, but what I will say I love the most is what I learned from the comments and,
Mm,
the good, the bad, and the ugly. But the comments really kind of taught me and defined who I was going to become because I could see, there were certain things people would come back again and again with certain words, certain phrases. And I was like, oh, I should do more of that. I should do more of that. But I
yes.
never really landed on it until a month ago. I kept just doing different things. And
Mhm.
the following was growing, but not at the pace it's growing now. Because,
Yeah,
it's true that once you do find a niche, then you have people that are coming to you for that specific subject. I mean, that's just a
exactly.
reality.
Exactly, it is. Somebody said to me once, they said, "Who's the real influencer out there? The influencer or the followers?" And truth be told, they did say it's the followers because the followers kind of guide
Yes.
you into what they need,
Yeah.
and then you're just like their source of of what they
I
need.
know.
But but it's fun that way. But the cool thing is, and I do see you doing it from time to time. You even did it for Memorial Day. You did a video and
Oh,
said, "Nope, teacher's off duty" or whatever you said.
right, right.
Like
No
it's
school
time.
today.
Yeah, no school today. That was it. And the funny thing is like it's really true. There's when you come to TikTok, you can actually share little, even though when you do become niche focused, it's
Yeah.
okay to share things in between. Like you're not going to annoy people. People are just getting to know you,
I know.
learn a
I
little bit
can't. I
more about
can't.
you.
I always say that when I go on my lives, I always say, listen, if I was only doing tutorials, I'd bore myself to death. Like I can't.
Yeah,
I can't just do that because number one, I'll just get sick of doing it, and then I'll just be
exactly.
not as happy doing it. And the other part that's really fun is that doing the tutorials kind of it inspires me to actually do the trend. So then I'll do
Right.
the trend, and then I'll do the trend, then I'll teach the tutorial. I've never done an outfit change until I decided to do that Buster Rhymes tutorial. And I was like, oh, you know what? I'll do an outfit change. And that was the first time I ever did one.
That's
And
so cool.
I don't expect the actual trend one that I do to be the one that's get the most views. I always think
Right.
it's going to be the teaching one. And in
Right.
that case, the trend one actually got a lot of views and I was really surprised. And I got a
That's
lot of comments
awesome.
about my outfits, which was fun.
Yeah. But what's cool though, because I'm glad you do it. When I watch tutorial videos, a lot of people do go, look, did they actually do this trend and how did it turn out? So that's really cool that you're having the two pieces of content that can go well together. And we'll dive in a little bit more about that because but first I just wanted to go back to the kind of commenting thing because I think that was really, really important for people listening to this show right now, whether they have their TikTok or not, is the fact that your audience starts growing pretty rapidly on here.
Yeah,
Even if it's in the beginning, people are a lot more comment savvy, meaning that they're just going to leave their opinion or share something or
yeah,
mention something like, hey, you should do this again. Even if it's one comment, you're able to get feedback really quickly
really
to,
quickly.
to help
Yes.
guide you. Whereas on other platforms that we're used to using like Facebook or Instagram that are so oversaturated with no organic reach, the content, like the comments that you get back are typically bots saying cool post or something like that,
Right, right, right.
where that's no feedback. So you're like, oh, cool post, but it was just a bot. So you just keep doing that content even though it might be crap. Whereas
Right.
on TikTok, it's like you're getting real feedback from people. And you don't have to listen to everything if that's not your passion. But some people might say, hey, can you actually do this again, but tell us a little bit more about this? And
Right.
be like, oh, I didn't know people wanted to know. And that could be for any business, right? Like
Yes.
your business, it could be just a personal page, personal branding, like anything like that. Your audience will help you determine what you want to talk about. And I think that's really important is the engagement on TikTok is just so incredible
It
for
really
people.
is. It
Yeah.
really is. And honestly, for me, I have so much fun doing the tutorials. So a lot of the comments I get are like pure, this is so happy, this is so concise, this is so clear. But the truth is like I really am happy doing it. And I
Yeah.
sometimes when I do it and I'm showing it, of course, with my, my stylist, that's my my
Yes.
signature. But when I'm showing it and it works on the first try when I'm recording the tutorial, I actually do get excited and I'm like, yes. And so I think people grab and then when I keep that in the video, when I edit it, that's what people are grabbing onto. Like, you were so happy when and I'm like, yeah, because I really was happy, I really have a good time teaching it, figuring out. I love to watch the quick tutorials. People do different styles. I watch the quick ones. I can pick it up really quick. I'm very tech savvy, and I have a technology aptitude, which is rare for my age. I realize that. But, being able to tap into those skills and then share them. Excuse me.
No worries.
This is what editing is for. Being able to tap into those skills and then be able to share them with joy is just like, it just makes it all the more fun for me. That's not like tedious.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And you know what, for those of you listening right now, I really need you to understand the whole concept of tutorials, because you might be, if you're new to TikTok or whatnot, you don't know, but there's trends out there. So last podcast actually was all about the app called Trend Talk, which talks about sounds and hashtags that you can find that are trending, and it tells you ones that are not going to be trending. But the thing is, that app is incredible. Now you'll find the trend and then you're like, hey, I see it now, I get it, but I don't really know how to do it. So what Helen does, everyone that's listening, is she does a teaching tutorial on how to actually perform that trend to do it. And that is really important, because on your For You page, and you guys might have seen this too, you'll see the same song with the same trend. And it could be a little bit complicated, but it might not even be that complicated, but it looks complicated and you don't know, so you don't do it. And the thing is, doing trends is really, I always say, like, you should do 10% of your content. Yes, keep original stuff, but you should join in with the fun on TikTok, because it's really important to keep up with the culture and show that you're, within it and everything like that. So
and you can do the trend. You can do the trends within your niche still. Like I always spin the trend towards teaching, like the one I did that you mentioned about the no school. That was a trending piece, and I just spun it to like me as a teacher.
Yes,
using it
exactly.
Like that.
So yeah, really you can switch it into anything, into your brand, to your personal brand, to your niche, like anything like that. And even like the outfit change, even if you were like, what am I going to show my outfits? Like maybe you are our actual teacher, show some of the outfits you wear to class, or hey, this is my classroom outfit and this is, or whatever. Like there's so many things that you can do. But the important thing is, those that are, listening right now, I want you to, pause this podcast, go over to the TikTok app and search up Helen over there. She's under Mothership.
At the Mothership, but it's with a U, at THEMUTHE. A lot of people look for me with the O and then they can't find me.
Yeah, so it's MUTHER ship or whatever. But like, go over there right now so you can understand what we're talking about when we're talking about tutorials and teaching that. That's really important. And you can, go over there and then come back to this podcast right now and we'll talk more. But it's really I love what you're doing in that space. And it is true. We talk about your demographic being completely different than you thought, because, maybe somebody in, like for me, in my generation, you typically attract those within your same kind of generation, but you're attracting all kinds of people.
I mean, I love when I have the young people that are like, oh, my mom's teaching me TikTok. And then I have a few rude people that have to call me grandma, which it's hurtful, but it's okay. I'll take it. I mean, they're still watching, but it's funny. I will say that I do watch a lot of tutorials. I'm not the only person doing tutorials. There's tons
for sure.
But everybody has their own style, and I can watch the quick ones. And because I have that technology aptitude, I can pick it up really quick. But then when I'm going to explain it to someone else, I know that they don't necessarily have the same aptitude. And so I've had a few friends on TikTok, and this is why I started doing tutorials, is a couple of my TikTok buddies would send me a note in DMs and, oh, do you know how to do this? Do you know how to do that? And I said, oh yeah, I'll make a tutorial for you. So I was just kind of doing it as little extra content. And then they started to go viral, and that's what picked up the traction for me. So, but to address the niche thing, I just want to say, for example, my daughter blew up pretty well on TikTok as well. And then she decided to take her feed and make it very specific into a niche, which is like beautiful baking videography. And she ended up actually starting another account for that. So that's another way to approach it, is to, once you find your niche, you can actually recreate, reinvent. So she's at Truly Julie, Juli. And she's so she took her main channel, and instead of reinventing it there, she went another route. And I did the opposite, whereas I stayed straight through on my feed. I'm like, everyone's going to get to see the history of crazy. And PS, I had a couple of comments recently about you know how TikTok pushes out old content. And so of course, some of my older videos were getting pushed out, and somebody commented, "Oh, this is very off brand for you." And I was like, I'm a person, and I was doing TikTok before I was teaching it. So I just thought that was a funny comment, and I was like, I was thinking, should I go back and delete some or private some? And I'm like, no,
exactly. Okay, you brought up so many awesome things here. This is so cool. For one, how cool is your daughter is also in this journey with you of like
she is
growing on there. And I've mentioned this before in the past too. If you are not comfortable sharing your personal stuff with your brand stuff, 100% create a second account. It is so easy to do. You can flip between the two so simply. Because there's some people that have that like, oh no, I can't talk about my business and share my personal stuff, but they still like doing both. That's an option as well. Or you can be like Helen and just put it all on one page, because that's the future, people. Like, I'm telling you right now, the future of marketing has changed. It is changed today. And sometimes some of you are thinking 5 years ago, where we have to be this whole niche down, fully focused on this professional life. It is not like that. TikTok is showing that and proving that the brands that are coming in and having fun and showing those personal sides to them within their content, it is proving that we are human. We want to humanize ourselves as a brand too, because those brands that are humanizing themselves, showing the founder, showing the mistakes, showing the fun side of them, those ones are the ones that are gaining attention from the people, and they're purchasing because they almost feel like a trust and a connection there that they love. Like they're gonna follow you or use your service or product or whatever. So it's really key that's that. And that's true how maybe that person who said this is really off brand for you was probably somebody who's just so used to Instagram, where if they come to a page, they only see that particular thing, because on Instagram, people don't vary off from those things. They're so focused, which is annoying, because like, how frustrating is it to keep talking about the same stuff, right?
It's so true.
So yeah, so
I will say that having this experience has really given me a lot of credibility at work, because obviously production is a very young business.
Yes.
So now when people find out, oh, she's got like what kind of following on TikTok, it adds to my, I guess, youthful vibe credibility, and the fact that I'm on trend, even though I'm, mature. So I like that.
They're probably like, oh, Helen, do you know what TikTok is? And you're like, yep, I have 170,000 followers on there. They're like, wait, what?
I got you. I got that.
You're like, yeah, you want me to show you how to do these trends? And they're like, whoa, wait, what? No, for sure. That's definitely brings your credibility. The funny thing is, I think people who get on TikTok, the followership you have there will be more important than your other socials. I'm telling you, mark my words right now, TikTok is the future. So like, it not only is it going to be credibility for that, but it's just for all sorts of opportunities coming up, because the marketing world is now shifting and realizing those are the eyeballs are on TikTok right now. Like we talk about it at my with Project Z, our talent management company. We talk about it a lot, meaning that mainstream media has not caught up yet because of the viewership. So think about like the Oscars, right? The Oscars were on TV recently. They had 8 million viewers, right? And so some people are like, wow, that's a lot. And I'm like, interesting, because there's many TikTok accounts that can easily get 8 million views a month, easily, or 8 million views in one video, no problem. That's the same amount of people watching that TikTok or that channel on there that, that was watching the whole Oscars where all these celebrities are on, right? And it's like, nobody cares, because it's just not, that's just not where we are. We're here now. This is where we are. This is it.
And I will follow up to that with the fact that it is daunting to think about how many people are watching the videos. But while at the same time, when I'm actually making the videos, I'm in my little space here, I'm doing it, I still think I'm talking to one person. And that's how I like and the reality is, as much as I'm talking to a bunch of people, they're all individually in their homes at the time watching. So it's not me in front of an audience, it's me in front of one person on their phone. And so I still approach my TikToks like it's just me teaching my friend or me teaching my one person. And I laugh about it because sometimes I think, I always think there's only one person watching because it's me and my imaginary friend on my phone,
Right,
and I
right.
think that part of that is what helped me kind of be more relatable to people,
Mhm.
that they don't think that they're being preached to by a teacher in front of the class, but they do feel like they're being tutored one-on-one. And I
Yeah.
have a few people that have really, some of my favorite comments are, if this woman was my math teacher, where would I be now? Kind of thing. And I have to laugh because I'm like, I'm sorry, I wish I was your math teacher. Because I think, that just makes me feel.
Yeah, that's so cool. But you know what's interesting as well is it's showing how, because you're talking mostly younger audiences are coming to you. The Generation Z
Mhm.
have changed. Like their generation is different from where we are, and yet education systems, we'll not go into that deeply because I could rant about that all day, but the education system has not changed at all
I
from
know.
when me and you, like from when you were a kid, it was the same for me, and vice versa. So they're like, yo, we're digital children here. We've grown up with a phone in our hand from literally from time of birth. They're the first generation that has video content from
Yeah.
birth to their adult, like to the rest of their life. So they're like, you expect me to learn traditionally from a book when I have Google at hand? That's all I know. Like, let me Google it and quit wasting my time. So we have to teach them in their culture, and I think that's why you're so popular with the Generation Z, because the way you do teach is on their wavelength, and it's
Yes,
something that
yes,
they're really
yes.
excited about, and it's something that they want to learn, and they're coming to you that. And the cool thing is, it's something you can't Google. Like that's
Yeah,
something you can't Google, so that like they can't access that. So,
right.
for brands or businesses out there, what is something that your followers or your audience can't Google? Like, what can you share with them? And there's lots, because, hey, what does the behind the scenes look like of your small business? You can't Google that. You have to showcase that. What's the story behind your business? You cannot find that. You have to share that. So
That's
sharing things that people can already Google. Yes, the convenience is on TikTok, but if you can access that, that's your gold right there. Like
yeah.
that's your gold, and you're doing such a good job on that, and that's why people are coming to you. Which is really cool. You know what? I wanted to quickly say, you mentioned something, and the funny thing is, it just left my mind.
Left your mind. Well, let me jump in and then think about it, because I want to
Okay.
say that TikTok was kind enough to grant me the 3-minute video option. And
Yes.
when I first got it, I was like, damn, I just wanted the captions and the playlist because I wanted to be able to organize my content and actually caption
Right.
the video. But the first thing they gave me is the 3-minute video. Now, do we think that's random that they saw that people were watching my videos all the way? So are they granting it to people that, who knows why I got that? But I am thrilled because I was cramming those, even trying to teach slowly, still got to cram it into 60 seconds. So I feel duly thankful that I got the 3-minute option. And a lot of people comment, man, she fit this into 60 seconds. And I have to confess right away, I'm like, sorry, it wasn't 60 seconds, but you stuck it out.
Yeah. No, but it's cool though. I love that feature, and I hope that they keep it, but I hope that they don't extend it to, like, I
Yeah,
think 3 minutes should be the
it's
max.
plenty. It's
Should be
plenty.
the max. And I
I pretty
think
much
that,
don't ever use the whole 3 minutes. I
yeah,
don't ever.
exactly. I think it's plenty because there's many people, like on LinkedIn, especially, like some people, I might even share this little clip right now talking about LinkedIn. There's a lot of people that share video content over there, and they're just rambling on about a bunch of crap that nobody cares about. And
No.
then you like see the video in 8 minutes, and you wonder why your views on there is like 30,
Ugh,
is because you
no.
have to understand people are consuming a lot faster now. Your 8-minute video, I can turn it into a 60-second video or
Yeah.
under 3 minutes. So you have to learn how to be a little bit faster now. Your audience is quick. They need content fast. You need to get to the point. Just teach it. Like, you don't need to ramble on about little things here and there. Just get to the point, and I guarantee you your views will go up, and people will be interested in that. When I watch a video that's 60 seconds, I have 60 seconds in my life to be able to like
Yeah.
give it a shot. But
It's true.
it's
It's
just
true.
crazy.
I
What
think
other
that
thought hasn't? Oh, go ahead.
part of that's. Oh, did you think of your?
I didn't. It'll
Okay.
come
Well,
probably in a bit.
okay. It will come at the right moment. But I will say that this is a really funny sort of human interest story about my history. But when I was first in my very first advertising job, one of the tasks I was given was to go into these back rooms where we had the 3/4 inch decks, and we had to edit the 60-second spots into 15s or the 30-second spots into 15s. So honestly, I have been skilled in doing TikTok in a way, since I'm like 25 years old. It's crazy if I think back to that time. It's like, you had to figure out what's the most important thing and what can you live without. And it's a skill set that is, people don't think, they think the whole thing is important. I can't cut anything out. And as soon as you cut it out, you realize you don't miss it. So
yes,
it definitely is a mental skill set.
Totally. Like, do you know the creator Law by Mike? He's a lawyer.
No.
Oh, for one, you should check him out. He's awesome.
Okay.
His transitions are incredible. He's
Okay.
the most followed lawyer in the world. He's got over, I believe he's almost at 5 million followers now.
Wow.
He was on my podcast, and his number one thing, so him and his production guy that they were on together, and they said the number one thing that makes their account grow so fast, not only is it look good, the transitions are good. He's a good looking lawyer too. Like, you know what I mean? But it is true. 100% is true, is cut the fat. He says, cut it out. And if you watch his videos, they're very to the point. Like, there's no explaining. It's like, if you get pulled over by like, he does a lot of like, if you get pulled over by the police, these are the 3 things you don't do. And he doesn't ramble on. He just says the points.
1, 2, 3.
Boom. So simple. You are able to comprehend it. Like, the things in between that you would ramble on about, people can already include that into their conversation, like in their own mind. They can grasp those things. So it really is. And I'm sure that the background clearly has helped you learning that and being like, oh yeah, I don't need this.
It's challenging too, because a lot of times the funny things I say and the personality things, like my instinct is we don't need that, cut it out. But also that's somewhat important to the vibe. So it's hard there's a fine balance between taking out the fat and also leaving in that one little piece of fat that makes it funny or amusing or kind of, engaging. So
yeah,
it's a balance.
You know what's cool though, is because on TikTok you can post crazy amounts of content. Like, there's no definition. Like on Instagram, they say post no more than 2 times a day, right? Because you'll screw yourself up. The algorithm will think you're being spammy and all these things. So people are so used to saying like, oh, okay. And it's even okay. Like on LinkedIn, people are posting more on there, but before it was like 2 to 3 times a week. So people have in their mindset like, whoa, how much content can I make on TikTok? And it's like, you actually can make as much as you want. Like, as much as you want. So with that being said, is if you don't overthink it. That's what the number one problem that people have with TikTok for sure is overthinking it. What they need to do is just be themselves and come there. And the cool thing is let's say you didn't cut the fat properly or whatever, you can
repost it
or change something up.
Cut it again, repost it.
Take that little part out, edit a little piece out, try again, because the cool thing is, what I love about TikTok as well is you're gonna get different audiences. Maybe that video, like, people are not gonna get annoyed. Like, I already saw this. That rarely happens. I rarely see that. Maybe somebody, and maybe that person's a hardcore fan, knowing
you die hard stands, right?
Yeah, which they're gonna still stick around, but that's never happened. So don't be afraid to like reshare another post and try again. Like, that's what I love about it. Like on Instagram, you can't really do that because like your feed's so, I don't know, it's just there. But on here, it's okay. I always tell people, like, let's just test things out and use your analytics. So if you have a TikTok account, you do have analytics, and they're really important to kind of understand a little bit more about your account and who's watching and things like that. So what you could do is, on a specific video, let's say your video is 30 seconds and your average watch time is 10. That gives you a clear indication that something happened that they did not want to watch all the way through. So now you can go around that 10-second mark, figure out what happened. Maybe there was like some weird transition there, or maybe you were just like rambling on about something. Well, that didn't work so well. So let me cut that little part out, adjust it, repost, see if that helps. Now, I always say these things, try, error. Sometimes your video content is amazing and it just didn't work out. Like, the algorithm didn't like it.
And sometimes you take so much time doing it and it's like you want to just jump because what? I spent like 2 hours doing that. Yeah, it's upsetting.
Exactly. My advice for that is find yourself either a TikTok coach or a friend or somebody who you can say, hey, look, take a look at this. Is this actually like a good piece or not? Please be honest. And if it is, then you'll feel good. If they were like, I found this part boring, like then you can re-edit it. If they're like, yo, this was like a really good video, then maybe just try re-uploading it again at another time, because that does happen. But like you mentioned as well before, sometimes you have old content get pushed out. So and that happens, right? Like how many times have you seen that happen?
It happens.
It does.
A lot.
It happens,
and then you get the comments.
for sure. Like I told you before, but my daughter has 2.3 million followers, and then my wife has she just has 200,000 followers. But she was telling me yesterday that we made this funny video. We went to the zoo, like I want to say like 3 months ago, and she made this hilarious video with this owl, and it is so funny, but it did well, and then all of a sudden, it stopped. But then recently, yesterday, she was like, the owl video's back out.
I know, the owl. It's very funny when I see like the things come back on my feed. I'm like, somebody's watching that spaghetti squash thing. They're probably like, what is she doing? Because, what is she doing? I laugh about it when I see it, because you can see who likes and whatnot. It's very funny.
Yeah, but what's cool is because the content is this is what I love about TikTok as well. From a marketing standpoint, the content is very fast paced, but it's not like you post and it's gone. Like you post and you lose it. Whereas like you think it's so fast, so you like have to constantly make content. But yes, you do. But the cool thing is those videos are like evergreen. They keep kicking out to different audiences at different times. Some people are going back to find things, like especially when the playlist thing rolls out for everybody, people will be able to find your playlist.
Oops, he froze.
Like it's so cool. I love because it kind of gives you excitement when a video goes out again and you're like, oh, okay. And it reaches like new audiences. The funny thing is that video has now reached India. So she's like, we're in India.
The best. I love hearing from people around the world, and it's so much fun.
But you can reach the global community. Like, how cool is that? For some reason, she has a huge Malaysian population follow her. They just love her. Don't know. She's like, I don't know why. And she's like that too. She's like, I don't have a niche. She just posts about anything, and people seem to love it. So that's what's cool. Awesome.
I'm having people DM me now that are making requests all the time, which I find is getting a little overwhelming, but it's also really fun. And I want to try, and I'm trying to address everything. And I always say, my God, how do these people like respond to the comments and keep up? Because I feel like every single one of these people now is my student, and I feel like I need to be there for my students. So sometimes I've been doing live, and I call it office hours, teachers office hours, just for fun, and they can Q&A. But I mean, I do have a plan for that going forward. But what I find interesting about where I'm headed here is, number one, I'm hearing from brands that are asking me if I could coach their team, because let's face reality, I can't create content for 1 million brands. I just don't have the time to do that. But I can give guidance to a small, let's say it's a small business or even a medium-sized business that they have a team of people that are doing the content, but they just don't know how to do it. So that's one thing that I'm finding I'm gravitating into from a work standpoint. And the other thing I'm trying to address is the fact that a lot of people are asking, a lot of you have been asking, my favorite not line on TikTok when people say that, but when people ask to do like, oh, can you teach me how to put the audio on? Can you teach me how to make this thing? And it's all really simple stuff. I can't really fill my feed up with like super, super basic, the stuff that people want to know about is what are the trends and how do you do the trends? So I am creating a course, which is going to be I don't know if the word pedantic is considered negative, but it's going to be very step-by-step from the beginning. Here's how TikTok works. Here's how, if you want to make a post, this is what these buttons mean. Because I find that I had to Google and search all those things individually, or just trial and error and do it myself. And there was no linear explanation from start to finish. And that's what I'm creating. So I'm excited about that. And my profile is the wait list. And hopefully I'll be live within like a week or two on that.
Oh, so wow. You're like on it.
I'm on it. I'm a producer, baby.
I've literally been working on a course for like months now.
Oh my God.
But perfect.
I'm sure it's more complicated.
Look, that just came back to me. Of exactly what I wanted to say is literally, okay, people out there, some people might think like imposter syndrome is real, people. Like it happens to all of us, right? And the thing is, because we might think, oh my gosh, like I might be sitting here and be like, oh no, Helen's making a course and I haven't even finished mine. Hers is gonna be out in a week or whatever. And I don't care, because I'm like, yo, that's awesome. Like, because your audience will relate to you versus my audience will most likely relate to me, or
There's
some of
room
them,
for everyone.
everybody, right? Like, and that's the thing, like, no matter what, you might think it's oversaturated because your For You page might now show you all these things, and you're like, there's so many people doing tutorials, and it's like, look, me and you can, and I've said this on many podcasts before, but me and you can sit in a room, we could have the exact same script, word for word, and half the audience will resonate with you and half will resonate with me. It's just how it is as human beings. So that's why there's room for everybody. And even Gary Vee said this once, is he says something like, what are you afraid of? Like, yet you might be in an oversaturated market, but the thing is, we don't just follow like one person from each niche. We just don't do that. We're not like, oh, you know what, I'm a Gary Vee fan and I only follow him, so I'm sorry, you do Gary Vee content style, I can't follow you, my like capacity's filled up. It's not like that. We consume it all because we want to learn from everybody's experiences. So don't be afraid to go out there, and if you think there's other people on there, there probably is, but it doesn't matter. You're going to reach new people with your story. You have a different approach to it. Like, you have a different experience. Everybody does. So who cares? Like, teach it. Be there. Like, yeah.
It's the same thing with the trends. Like when I had a friend that recently got on Instagram Reels and was like, I don't get it. Everybody's doing the same thing. And I'm like, but are they really? Not really, because even with the trends, it's the same type of thing. Like, everybody can do that same trend, but each person does it in their own way, or in their own style, or in their own, their own branded, self. So there is definitely room for everyone. And that's what I love the most about TikTok. There's even room for me.
Yeah, exactly. It doesn't matter your age. I've had people on my show in their, almost in their 70s. I think even one guy was even in his 70s. And it's like, there was a guy named Dan Holler, and I believe I was gonna have him on my podcast. He was 86 and he's using TikTok, and he's actually grown quite far on there. Just teaching. He teaches his experiences from when he was like a little boy, like how he was taught things. And people love it. Like, they're just like so blown away by like how things were how things have really changed. And it's really fun. And even the Gen Z love him because they're like, you're so pure. And the cool thing is, I think some people might be afraid of them, like, oh, Gen Z is gonna hate on me or bash me. But to be honest, I feel like that generation is actually pretty nice. Like, they're very accepting to the especially those who are coming to their level, like meeting them. That's what I like too. Like, TikTok is their source, but you're meeting them and coming onto their like where they're comfortable, and you're speaking to them in their lingo. Then we can relate, and they actually find it to be so fun that adults are on there. They're not like when TikTok first started, people used to say on LinkedIn, like, oh, wait till the adults come, and then all the Gen Z leave to somewhere else, like what happened on Facebook. And it's like, yeah, because Facebook was so lame, sorry to say, but it was really like the adults coming on there were just like so petty and like, whereas on TikTok it's kind of like we're merging into that culture of just being fun, and that is relatable for anybody. So it's super cool.
It's so true. And I told you from earlier is that even the Gen Zs are watching and saying, thanks for teaching me, mom. So even it's really nice to have a range, so my audience is not so pigeonholed, and I just really love that so much.
Exactly.
The only thing we have in common is that they're my students. Any age.
Yeah, no, that's so cool. We should definitely have a conversation too, because I'm actually working with a couple brands right now, and doing the exact same thing. Is I'm not teaching them how to. I'm not making content for them at all. I'm teaching them how that they can do it because it's easy, but they can't see past that yet. And once I'm able to teach them, and then I'm kind of like the accountability with them, like, okay, look, do this and things like that. But we should have a chat offline, because there's so oh my gosh, there's so much opportunities. There's so many brands out there that have no idea how to even come to it, and all they need is just somebody to give them some guidance, things like that. But it's really cool, and I mean, is there any I appreciate everything like that you've been on, but I'd love to know, is there any last things that you love to mention or leave with the audience?
Oh, that's a good question. I think that my biggest my biggest message would be to make sure that whatever you're doing, you're enjoying it, because TikTok is, the audience is so smart. They see right away. They're consuming so much content at such a rapid rate, and there's no way to fake it. There's no way to be a fake it till you make it on TikTok. I mean, TikTok is you are you, and people pick it up right away, and they're going to call you out on it and immediately call you out on it. So
Right.
if you're just your authentic self, and then finding your way and traveling your path to figure out where you're headed, you don't have to know from the beginning. You'll learn as you go. You'll pick it up from the comments, and then you kind of find your path. I don't know. You find your little path. It's just really been fun. That's the takeaway is FUN for fun. That's my takeaway.
I love
but I
that.
will say,
Yeah.
I really hope that from my goal, if I'm going to say what my goal is going forward with my
Please.
account, it's really to give people the confidence to post. So if I have so many people that are tagging me in videos and saying, "Oh, I made my first video and it's all thanks to you."
That's
That
so
makes
cool.
makes my friggin' day, honestly, because
For sure.
they didn't want to do it, and then they saw something that I did, or somehow I explained it in a way or made them feel comfortable enough in themselves. A lot of that comes from what I do for a living as an interviewer. I'm always trying to make people feel warm and welcome at the shoots. I do a lot of real people, and you have to make everybody feel comfortable. So it's part of my DNA. But because I'm doing this, what I'm planning to do with my course is it's going to be TikTok confidence with the Mothership. So it's giving you, it's not going to say, I'm not going to promise you you're viral. I'm not going to, promise you the world, lie. I'm just going to say, I can give you the confidence to do what you feel comfortable doing, whether that's with products, with people, or with, landscapes, or with yourself. So it can be whatever you're comfortable with. And that's the goal.
Exactly. I think, like I said, the number one mistake people make is overthinking, and that's because of the lack of confidence. If they had the confidence, they wouldn't overthink. They'd just do it. Yeah. And it is true. So you just need somebody to kind of help you and show you that this is, if she can do it, I can do it. Or that's an easy turn. I'm going to give it a shot. Like, it's not that scary. Exactly. And it is true. I wish more people would just take that chance and make that first video, because the first one's the hardest to do, because you feel a little bit, especially if you've never made video content before, you're like, oh, but it's okay.
I always say slap it out there, because you don't know what's going to happen. I mean, there was one where there was one video that went so viral for me that it was so random. I was in a marsh and I was hiking, and I met this woman who wanted to take my photo. She thought I was setting up my camera to take a photo. And I was like, no, I'm doing a TikTok. You want to get in it with me? And that was one of my most viral videos. And it was just so random. And I wasn't going to post it because I said, oh, I look disgusting. I was hiking and sweating and gross. I posted it anyway. And the moral of the story is post it anyway.
Yeah.
You just don't know.
Exactly. There was a TikTok recently that really caught my attention, and it is true. Is somebody was it was like a little cartoon, but it really hits you kind of in the feels. And it's somebody laying in bed, and they're like, I'm like, they were like taking a photo or have a video on or whatever, and they're like, I'm so ugly. And then the person, their like partner, was like, what are you talking about? It's because you only see you in the mirror and the reflection, but you I see you when you're watching your favorite TV show. I've seen you when like hugging your mom. Like, I've seen you when you're out playing your favorite sport. Like, they get to see that reaction of a person where you don't get to, it's true. You don't get to see that on your own self. Yeah, so people are attracted to people based off of those things. So like for you, for instance, like it probably did well. People didn't see you and be like, wow, she looks really sweaty and ugly. They were probably like, wow, like how cool is she? Like, so we do overthink those things. People will see us like with our emotions. Like, that's what I think people really see is like those emotions. So don't be afraid of what you look like. Just be who you are, and people will love that. If you have people that love you already, new people will love you of who you are. So you will attract the right people. Just, have confidence. And like I said, the first video is the hardest, and the more you do, it's like working a muscle. It gets easier, and you get more confident, and it becomes, a lot more clear. And the cool thing is the audience, there's some trolls out there, but TikTok has the ability to edit. You can put keywords in your comment section, so they cannot even be, nobody can even type those.
Yeah.
Did you know that as well?
I do, and I was
Yeah.
going to put the word grandma in there, but I'm like, if anybody uses that word, you're out. No, I'm just kidding.
So yeah, like
Reality is I could be a grandma, so it's
you
okay.
can put words in there that would be your trigger words, and so that way nobody can ever they'll never be able to comment those words. So it's so cool. Like just go out there and do it. But you'd be surprised. There's going to be a lot of people that are really positive and give a lot of really good things back, and it's just fun. But
It is fun.
I usually ask two questions because it's fun, and it makes me learn a little bit more about you. So my
Uh-oh.
last two questions before we end this, no, it's very simple, is
Okay.
one, what is found on your For You page?
What do I see a lot of? Is that what you
Yep.
mean?
What kind of content do you see on your For You
I
page?
see a lot of trending and dancing because that's what I really like to watch. I
Awesome.
like to, I like to watch the talented people doing those dances. I am impressed at all times. I also find a lot of baking comes up because I guess I save recipes and I do enjoy baking as
Yeah. See
another
that
passion.
I love to ask that because we get to see you get a mix of things, which is fun. Like you don't see the constant things, but you do see the things you really enjoy.
Yeah.
Do you have you seen my daughter at all?
No, I've not seen her on my FYP, so I'm gonna have to go and find her and hit the
Yeah,
button so
definitely.
it comes
Because
up.
she does. That's what she does is dancing content.
Oh, that's funny. I wonder why I haven't.
Yeah, her name is Jade Can Dance.
Okay,
So yeah, JAYDE Can Dance.
JAYD.
And yeah, you should check her out. But no, that's cool. And then lastly, who are some of your favorite creators on the app?
Oh, I like the creators that I learn from, and of course they're in my. But like Wave Wild, I watch her like religiously, and I will go to her page to see what she's posted recently if I don't see it on the FYP. And there's a creator. Oh my God! Now I hate that I can't come up with it right away. But she does tutorials, and I love the way she does the tutorials. She speeds through it, and let me see if I can find her quick.
Yeah, please.
I want to say Jana or something. Oh yeah, yeah. I guess she's so there on my page that I don't even have to know what her name is. How crazy is that?
You don't even know how common that is when I ask people. They so this is the interesting thing. People kind of associate a face because we're human.
Yes.
Like
She comes up all the time.
you
Jana.
don't
Anyway,
okay, that's
delete.
okay. If you think about it later, send it to me so I could check
I
her out.
will. I
But
will.
yeah, Wave was a guest on my podcast recently.
She's
She's
fantastic.
awesome. She comes up on my For You page constantly as well. New trend alert, like that's how we
Yeah.
know her in the house. New trend
She's
alert with her trend.
inspirational because she's very organized. Like she'll do the trend. She's got the content. Then she's got like buckets of content. I still haven't figured out how I want to do my other buckets of content because right now it's random. So it's tutorials, it's trends, and then it's my random life. So I don't know if I have to kind of organize that a little bit more going forward, but for now that's how I'm rolling with it.
Yeah,
Until I
just roll with
yeah,
it until
that's how I'm
that's the
rolling
cool
with it.
thing. Like you don't need to make all these crazy changes. Like just roll with what's working, and then you can try like implement new things as you go. But it's really fun, and I'm grateful that to hear that TikTok is not only like I love that your background has helped you become TikTok. You came into TikTok not knowing what your niche was, and then becoming the TikTok teacher, which you had no idea.
Crazy.
And now this has opened up a new avenue for you to be able to come create a course, teach people to be confident on TikTok. Like I'm sure, even a year ago, if somebody said this, you'd be like,
No way.
What? What are you talking
No
about?"
way. I would
But
not
how
believe it.
that's what I love most about this app is it's creating opportunities for so many people in so many ways. There's people that are creating courses left and right from not like because of TikTok, like not teaching TikTok, but even within their own brand because of their audiences are now asking questions of that they never were teaching before. So
Yeah.
now they're learning new things that people wanted to know. And so there's just opportunities all over the place. And the cool thing is we're in a time right now where these opportunities are realistic. Back, even 5-10 years ago, saying
No.
something like this, I'm going to create a course on this, would have been people would have thought you were nuts.
Right.
It would have never happened. But now we're in a time where everything is actually at our fingertips. We can. Those kids that say they want to be professional gamers actually can. Like that's what's so cool.
Yes.
Like they can make a living gaming.
So great.
You can make a living if you want to be your own chef. You do not have to be Gordon Ramsay on TV. You can be on TikTok creating cooking content and become a professional chef on there. Like it's so cool that TikTok has opened up those avenues. So if you're sitting there and you know in the back of your mind you have a passion, start sharing that stuff.
Yeah.
Start sharing that stuff with people. You're doing a disservice not sharing it. So
Truly.
do it right now. So, Helen, I mean,
Kyle, you were fantastic. Let me just say, when you first reached out to me, I had 70,000 followers. So it's been that's what was like 2 weeks ago. So things have really escalated.
No, that's what I love. And what's cool is I mentioned it in this podcast about 170,000 followers, but many, 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 many times when I go to post it, even if it's a few days, but when people re-listen, because the cool thing about podcasts is they're very evergreen. Sometimes people come a few months later and listen to that episode. So you might be listening to it right now. Do me a favor, go over to TikTok, check out Helen over there and see what follower count she is. Find us on social media and leave a comment saying, I came from this podcast and now Helen's at this many followers. I'd love to know that. That'd be so fun. Awesome. And yeah, where else can people find you, by the way? On TikTok?
I'm on Instagram, also the same username, at the Mothership. My Twitter, I don't really use, Mothership NYC. I don't really use the Twitter, but I do have a YouTube channel, which is kind of hilarious because the YouTube channel was created specifically when I was dead in COVID and I was doing baking content. So I almost have like a baking channel over there where I was showing like my family recipes. I mean, I never thought that would be sustainable because I don't have time to bake enough, but it was like really what I was able to do during COVID. So that was fun. And then I have like a little bunch of following over there. When are you going to bake for us again? So I have to try and, mix it up a little and get some baking in soon.
Oh, that's so fun. For those of you that are listening right now, I made it very simple for you. Go to the description notes of this podcast. Well, whatever platform you're listening on, there's a button to see the description notes. In there, you'll find the links to follow Helen. So it's easy for you. You don't have to remember anything or search anything. Just go there right now. So, follow her on the social media, see what she's up to. Check out her baking over on YouTube, which I will too. But yeah. And there was a comment that came in and I just wanted to give a quick shout out. I'll post it here on the screen here. It says, hey, Kyle, looking good, son-in-law. And that's my father-in-law, Brian.
Hi, Brian.
He my mother-in-law recently passed away in January, so he's in the UK. So Brian, we love you. We miss you, and we hopefully are going to get you over here soon for a visit and to come stay with us. But we love you very much. But I just want to end it on that. And Helen, thank you so much for your time today. It's been really fun. And I'm so excited to see where your career goes, where to tune into I would love to be able to check out your course as well, just to be able to check it out. And we'll chat offline.
Okay.
Awesome.
Thank you for having me. I enjoyed every minute of it. You're a wonderful interviewer, and it takes one to know one.
Oh, thank you so much.
Appreciate it.
Have a blessed day, and thank you for tuning in to another episode of the Biz Talk for TikTok podcast.